I realized, what I just did was so fun.
Viewer discretion is advised for this educational documentary. Welcome back to Case Documentaries. I bring you true crime, disturbing stories and other things that you may later regret knowing with regular uploads every week. Please do join the quickly growing Dark Case family by hitting subscribe now and turning on notifications. Thank you so much to all of my patrons. If your name is on screen right now, then you're a legend. Let's get straight into today's Dark Case. Our love and respect goes out to all those affected. Katrina Rivera was born on the 25th of March 1986. In December of 2016, she was living in Bakersfield, California. She was the 30-year-old mother of two and 39 weeks pregnant with her third child. It was to be a baby boy she had already named Josiah. He was due just 2 days before Christmas, an incredibly exciting time. Katrina was described by her friends and family as having a true talent for making people smile and for bringing an element of light to any situation. She was known to be extremely giving and had a passion to truly help those in need. And this is exactly what she was doing for her on-again, off-again boyfriend, 28-year-old Manuel Vela. Manuel was well known to suffer with mental health concerns as well as substance issues. But Katrina was devoted to helping him through these struggles. That is, despite the violent way that he was known to treat her. Katrina was devoted to her religion and strongly believed in forgiveness. She was doing her best to help Manuel through his mental health concerns and substance addictions. That is, rather than leave him because of it. The couple began dating in 2009, and between October 2008 and June 2016, Manuel had caught various criminal charges. In 2008, he was arrested for stealing a car. However, since he resisted his arrest, more charges were added. In September of 2009, he was arrested for drunk and disorderly conduct and false identification to officials. Not even a month after this, he was arrested again for domestic battery. He served 53 days in jail for this occurrence. In 2012, he was arrested for trespassing on someone's property, and he served 32 days in jail for this charge. A month later, he was arrested again for resisting officers and medical staff. This was after he was found drunk and acting disorderly. He was soon arrested once again for battery and served another 24 days. In July of 2013, he was arrested once again for domestic battery, willful cruelty to a child, and false imprisonment. He served another 90 days for these charges. In July of 2014, he was arrested again for drunk and disorderly conduct. Then, a month later, he was arrested for taking a vehicle without the owner's consent. He was sentenced to 2 years and 8 months for this, but he only served 246 days, spending his sentence between Wasco Prison and Patton State Hospital. Katrina filed a restraining order against Manuel. It expired a year later, but she never renewed it. When he got out of jail, Manuel was arrested again in June of 2016 for inflicting corporal injury on his partner and for violating his post-release supervision. For this, he went straight back to jail and served another 17 days. And then just a few months later, on Thursday, December the 8th, 2016, Katrina was reported missing. One of her daughters claimed that she last saw her mother getting into Manuel's car on that day. Police immediately suspected Manuel Vela as the perpetrator. They began searching for Katrina and attempted to locate Manuel through cell phone pings, but they were unable to find either of them. It wasn't until 11:25 a.m. on Saturday morning that a witness reported seeing Manuel at his apartment complex on the 2500 block of Haley Street. Manuel fled when police arrived and attempted to apprehend him, and this led to a chase. It was described as a slow speed chase, only reaching speeds of around 35 miles per hour. However, Manuel was driving on the wrong side of the street, and he hit numerous cars in his maroon 2000 Hyundai Elantra. He was initially weaving through traffic, holding a tire iron out of his window. He was hitting parked cars with it as he passed, but he was also attempting to hit several California Highway Patrol officers.
He attempted to strike a control-3 vehicle, correction, Coastal 3 officer at about 35 miles an hour, accelerated towards them.
After a while, though, he began holding baby Josiah out of the driver's side window. A California Highway Patrol officer managed to lay down a spike strip in the middle of the road. Manuel veered to avoid the spike strip and attempted to hit the officer. He missed and ended up puncturing 2 of his tires. The police chase ended at the corner of Mount Vernon and Flower Street, near East Bakersfield High School and Kern Medical Center, where Manuel got out of the car, holding Josiah as a shield so officers wouldn't open fire. Eventually, he dropped the baby in the street and tried to run, but the officers chased him and tackled him with the assistance of canines. They found Katrina's body in the back seat of Manuel's car. Her crimson red vital fluids were soaked into the seat. Emergency services tried to perform life-saving treatment on Josiah. He was rushed to nearby Kern Medical Center, but he did not survive. It's worth noting here that baby Josiah was not yet born. Manuel cut him from Katrina's womb. Truly one of the darkest things I have ever seen. During his bizarre police interview, Manuel tried to suggest that Katrina knew he was going to kill her and that she was okay with it. Here are some excerpts from his interview.
12/8, that's when this all started, about how this person ended up dead, Katrina Rivera, with the baby cut out. And
Did you cut the baby out of her?
yes, I did.
Why?
Prove a point to religion. She said, I'm gonna die in 2016. Her grandma knew. Everybody was telling him and warning him everything. You're gonna die by his hands if you don't get away from him. This is talking to the higher powers, not the 4 founding fathers of his nation or Islam or any
Right. Present time, right now.
capable 7 nations of any religion. We had to give them, because we're all as one. This is King of all kings, the city. I socked her and I choked her.
And then the baby. Once you cut the baby out, how did you kill the baby?
I killed her, Katrina Rivera, right there.
How?
I strangled her.
At the house?
Yes. Put her in the trunk. Put her in the back seat of the car. Drive, have some alone time, talk to the father, and then go on and proceed and I was do as I chose as a human.
And then hours later you went to Edison and then cut the baby out?
Yes.
He said that day he began arguing with Katrina about kids and going to the store for cigarettes, and she told him that she didn't want to be with him anymore. That evening, he hit her on the chin, knocking her to the ground. He then held his hands to her neck for 5 minutes, ensuring that her time on this earth had come to an end. He then placed her body in the back of his car and began driving around. After 6 or 7 hours of driving around, he used a box cutter to remove Josiah from her body. The box cutter was found inside Katrina during her autopsy. Manuel was represented by Chief Deputy Public Defender Peter Kang during his first hearing. He was charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder, as well as kidnapping, assault with a deadly weapon, reckless evading of police officers, obstructing/resisting an executive officer, and assault on a child resulting in great bodily harm. He was being held in jail without bond, and he had a competency hearing scheduled for January the 20th of the following year. At his hearing, Manuel called out, "I am guilty," though this contradicts statements from his jailhouse interview with the media, during which he claimed, "I didn't kill the baby. I had some personal time with him. He looks just like me." The autopsies revealed that Katrina's cause of death was neck compression, and Josiah's cause of death was asphyxia. A funeral for Katrina and Josiah was held the same day as Manuel's second arraignment. Afterwards, a vigil was held for Katrina and Josiah near East High School. At this vigil, Katrina's cousin, Yvette Monroe, told news reporters, "The last thing I told her was that Jesus loves her, and she said, 'I know.'" Manuel's sister told investigators that her brother had been diagnosed with schizophrenia. Someone else who knew Manuel said that he had recently talked about the need to sacrifice someone to ISIS. A woman named Nadine Escalante who worked at a juvenile hall that Manuel had attended when he was younger, recounted that Manuel Vela was liked before he committed these crimes. She said that he continually made his way to the juvenile hall as a teenager, and that his substance misuse would exacerbate his underlying mental health issues. Nadine said, "Though how I met him wasn't under the best circumstances, he had a good heart. He knew he was in trouble. He knew this time it was really, really bad."
A perfect example of drugs and mental illness. They do not mix. And when you put those two together, it is a master plan of disaster.
Manuel had attempted to reconnect with Nadine, calling her just 3 weeks before the murders, but she wasn't able to talk at the time. She said, "I sit here and think, what if that phone call would have changed what happened? He was a good boy, and we don't know what happened." Because of this incident, Nadine and some friends are in the process of starting a domestic maltreatment support group that focuses on community healing to try to prevent anything like this from happening again. But before Manuel Vela could attend his next hearing, about a month after his arrest, he was found unresponsive, swinging in his single-person cell. Staff at the jail attempted life-saving measures, but he could not be saved. Do you think justice was served here? What do you think could be done to avoid something like this happening again in the future? Please do let me know down in the comments. Be careful out there, and I'll see you soon.